Hi everyone, this is Ramalinga Prasad Kuppa. Welcome to my channel Pharma World. Today's topic is execution of batch manufacturing record, that is BMR. Batch manufacturing record or batch processing record is a very important document that captures the entire calendar of events or the history of the batch. This is also a very important document for the reviewer whether or not the batch is manufactured as per the approved protocol. Let us understand how such an important document is handled routinely. What is BMR? BMR is a batch manufacturing record. This captures all manufacturing activities of the specific product and batch number. The BMR is a control document. All the intricate batch processing details must be recorded in a controlled format. This controlled document should be monitored by an authority. Generally, it will be the QA department. Manufacturing is a sum of activities from start to finish of the batch. If you see the glossary section, chapter 20 of ICH Q7, you will find the definitions for manufacturing and production. Production is a part of manufacturing. Manufacturing includes all participants from receipt of input raw materials into the site, followed by several processes of warehousing, testing, dispensing, production, packaging, holding, distribution, etc. Easy way to remember is that manufacturing means get in of input materials and get out of finished goods. Information required to be captured in BMR are provided in section 21 CFR part 211.186 and 211.188. In addition to the product specific processing steps, these sections will provide common requirements to be recorded in the batch manufacturing record. Section 186 prescribes requirements for master BMR and section 188 prescribes conditions for batch manufacturing record. One important differentiation between the master BMR and executable BMR is that the master BMR is the mother document from which a copy is taken for execution of the batch. Master BMR is common for all batches, but executable BMR is only for the specific batch. When once the executable BMR is issued for a batch, it cannot be used for any other batch. In case of any change in the production plan, to defer the manufacturing of that batch, it should be cancelled and returned to the issuer with reason for return. BMR is a negotiable document between the regulatory customer inspections and the manufacturer. So it should be understood that BMR is history of the batch. Only when reviewed from start to finish, it can be established if the process is carried out as per the approved protocol. This is a necessary common platform document for the manufacturer and the investigator to check for compliance to the requirements. BMR must be archived for longer periods for any future reference. Section 21 CFR Part 211.180. It is necessary to archive the BMR and other related information till 1 year after the expiry period of the batch. This is a requirement to address Alcoa plus third principle, that is enduring. Let us see the step 1 of execution. As per the production plan, the responsible person from production planning should send a request to the issuing authority for necessary BMR. Step 1 should be a request for necessary original BMR for the execution of the batch. This is a requirement of compliance to data integrity. The fourth letter of Alcoa, O, stands for original. Original means the official negotiable document issued by authorized person. Data recorded on unofficial, uncontrolled, loose papers is not acceptable. That leads to data falsification. That approach is not considered as GMP. A controlled copy of the original BMR with batch number printed over it should be issued by the issuing authority. As said above, the BMR is a copy of the master BMR with batch number printed over it. It is issued only for the particular batch. It cannot be used for other batches. It is like an identification specific to that batch only. Controlled copies of other forms should also be issued along with BMR. Other necessary monitoring record forms for temperature, humidity should also be issued as part of the BMR. The copy should be clear. This is important. The print or photocopy of the master BMR should be with clear text so that there are no unclear or obscured words or text. Step 2. The person responsible for production should check individually all the pages of BMR and associated forms for completeness before accepting the BMR. The person receiving the BMR and associated forms should check whether all pages of BMR and associated forms are available as a whole document. The person receiving should check every page of the BMR for correctness before accepting it. It is like counting money withdrawn in the counter of a bank. You count in the counter itself for confirmation of the amount received, not at home. The BMR has such an importance. If there are more number of BMRs received, they should be securely kept under separate lock and key system controlled by authorized persons. This is to avoid mix-up of documents. It is necessary to do this way. The BMR of the batch that is under production should be filed securely to avoid any accidental damages during the production operations. This is obviously to protect the BMR from any accidental damage. BMR should be archived for at least 1 year after the expiry period of the batch. After successful completion of step 1 and step 2, let us see what is the requirements in step 3. The remnants of the previous batch product should be removed completely. Now you are ready to take off. To avoid mix-ups, this step is necessary. Ensure that the equipment was already cleaned and checked for suitability for the next product batch. This step is necessary to avoid contamination or cross-contamination. Equipment should be clean and dry. Dryness is necessary to avoid any growth of bioburden in the equipment. For same product, it may be adequate that the equipment is visually clean. Traces of previous batch remnants may be present. Of course, it is valid till there is no increase of impurities in the next batch. For other product change or cleaning should be elaborate and the remnant should be within acceptance criteria as derived from rinse or swab results. The monitoring instrument should be checked for valid calibration status. This is necessary to see that the monitoring equipments are within validity period of the calibration and maintenance. This is a requirement as per section 21 CFR part 211.68 and 5.3 section of ICH Q7. This activity should be checked by production personnel satisfactorily initially, followed by a request for line clearance by authorized persons. Primary responsibility for the clearance is from production department. After satisfactory checking by the production personnel, QA should check again for compliance and give clearance for taking up the production of next batch. Necessary tools should be in place to start the next batch. So necessary clean tools like samplers, scoops, transfer trolleys, pipes, etc. should be readily available for starting the production. After successful completion of line clearance, let us see the requirements in step 4. Dispensed materials from production should be checked for accurate dispensing. Production of batch starts with dispensing of required raw materials. Production personnel should check for dispensing of correct amounts of materials as per the request. There can be different approaches. While dispensing activity by material management system is in progress, the production personnel may oversee the correctness of dispensing. Alternatively, after the independent dispensing activity by the material management, production personnel must check again after receipt at the staging area. Either way, it is necessary to check for dispensing of correct requested quantities. Dispensed materials should be well closed and protected from potential contamination. This is an obvious step to avoid any contamination of the product. It should be checked that the dispensed materials are within the validity or retest expiry period. This is required as per section 211.80. Only valid materials should be used in the production. Dispensed materials should include packaging materials also. Packaging and packing are two different words with different meaning. Packaging materials include approved design of container, primary packaging and secondary packaging scheme, seal, label, etc. A package will have same type of marketed package for all containers. Packing is a generic word without any defined packaging materials specific to that particular pack. So the materials used for packing of finished product into a marketable package are called as packaging materials and not as packing materials. There should be a controlled procedure for issuance and usage of product labels. Product labels are like check leaves. They can be misused if not handled carefully. There should be a balance sheet for reconciliation of labels. The reconciliation data should have the details of number of labels issued, number of labels used, number of labels returned for any justifiable reason, and number of labels destroyed, etc. The total count should be reconciled. Section 211.125 has details on label issuance. Label preparation and issuance should be controlled through authorized personnel. Let us see step 5. Production steps should be followed exactly as per the prescription of BMR stepwise. All the parameters have to be complied as prescribed exactly in the BMR in a timely manner. Next step of the process must be executed only after the checkpoint is met in process CQA or CPP. All steps should be followed sequentially. Critical process parameters should be witnessed by another competent person on the shop floor. Generally, all critical process parameters are identified by bold text so that it is immediately identified as a critical parameter. Simultaneously, the critical quality attributes such as clarity of spray solution, concentration of a reagent, water content at different stages of processing, a dough formation, amperage for wet granulation, or a loss on drying test, or even a sieve test. Yields at appropriate stage should be recorded. If the process goes as prescribed, the yield will be as per the specifications. This confirmation is to establish that the process is under control, yielding correct product. Any changes or deviations should be recorded and justified. This is a GMP requirement, section 211.100 and 211.111. Provide detailed information on such deviations. In each step, Alcoa and plus principles must be followed to establish data integrity. Alcoa and Alcoa plus should be part of data integrity. This is important. You should understand the intent of this Alcoa. Attributable means who did the activity. Legible means the data recorded should be readable by all in the same way, clearly without any ambiguity. Contemporaneous means the evidence of compliance of activity recorded at the time of operation. Original means that the data should be recorded on officially controlled and issued by authorized persons. Accurate means the truthful data recorded without any falsification. Alcoa Plus is supplement. The data should be complete in all aspects. Data should be uniformly and consistently recorded. Enduring means that the data records should be long lasting. The data has to be stored for longer periods without any data loss or damage. The recorded documents should be readily available for review when required. Some references in 21 CFR Part 211 Subparts. This section of 21 CFR Part 211.188 under Subpart J contains all the requirements of input and outputs with GMP controls discussed so far. 211.122 to 211.130 under Subpart G provides details of packaging and labeling operations. Section 211.134 under Subpart G prescribes the detailed requirements on controls during finishing operations under drug product inspection. Read these sections carefully. Try to understand the content and the intent of each section. Let us see the prescription in ICH Q7. Similar equivalent information is available in section 8 of ICH Q7 under production and in-process controls, and in section 9 under packaging and identification labeling of APIs and intermediates. Information details of requirements of master BMR and BMR are provided in sections 6.4 and 6.5 of the same guideline. So this is the prescription of ICH Q7, but this is for APIs and intermediates. Let us also look into the prescription of drugs and cosmetics rules 1945. Section 21.1 to 21.3 of Schedule M prescribes under batch processing records similar conditions as discussed in this video. Details of information required to be incorporated are provided in section 18 of the same Schedule M. This is the prescription of drugs and cosmetics rules. All the references prescribe similar information in full. Try to read again, understand the content and the intent. I hope that the brief information and references provided for execution of batch manufacturing record is useful. Thanks for watching. For more videos, please do subscribe, like and share. Also, please leave a comment in message box for any further support. Thank you.